Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining me here today on our second Cabral House Call of the weekend. We'll be getting to another 5 to 6 of the community's questions, just like we do every Saturday and Sunday here on the show. I am opening up the giant Word document now and scrolling to episode 2662. That's today's show. So if you want to follow along with all of the questions, do feel free to do so at stephencabral.com/2662. While you're there, if you haven't already gotten a free copy of The Rain Barrel Effect, my book, do feel free to get one for either you or a family member. I pay for the book, you just pay for shipping, and we are happy to do that. We've been doing it now for quite some time, and love getting that information out to people that it might even be brand new for. So, all right, let's dive into the show. First question today, it's coming from Whitney. Whitney says, "Hi, Dr. Ball. My question is regarding my zinc to copper ratios. On the HTMA minerals metals test, my zinc was wildly off the charts at 335, and copper was at 1.5. Zinc to copper ratio was 233. I double tested to be sure I got a good sample, and it's legit. I also then tested my blood serum levels, and they were in the normal range. Zinc at 87, copper at 103. Any idea what is going on and why I should take copper alone and avoid the zinc? I do have these white hairs coming in that are very coarse, which is strange for my genetics. I'm a 35-year-old female and brunette. I'm also a little hypothyroid, cold hands and feet. The most obvious culprit to me is that I wear mineral zinc-based sunscreen daily. I work outside. All the sunscreens I use claim to be non-nano zinc, but maybe they're absorbing. Thanks so much." All right, great question. Happy to help. I think I have an easy answer for you. So whenever we see zinc off the chart like that, it's typically from the shampoo you are wearing or using. So when there are anti-dandruff shampoos, and then there are hair growth shampoos, and many of them lately have been putting in zinc. They often put in selenium as well. That's why sometimes we see selenium through the roof, especially if someone's using a shampoo called Selsun Blue. So we always ask before we start to worry about any of these things. Typically, it washes out, and so it's not an issue. But for some people, it can even be in the hair product. If you're using a hair strengthening product, it could have zinc in it. So keep that in mind, because then the zinc is on the hair. You know, we test the hair, it's legitimate, right? And then we find that there's very high zinc. So keep that in mind. The other part is it is possible you had some of the sunscreen on your hands, and it got on your hair, and that was part of your sample. Understand that contamination could be a problem. It's very rare. We almost never see zinc levels like yours, so there's definitely a culprit behind it. And then it is possible that it's from you using the sunscreen every day, but I don't think so, because you'd probably see it in your blood work for sure if your levels were that elevated, right? So until proven otherwise, that's what I'm going with, all right, Whitney? But it's good that you ran the blood work as well. Joyce is up next. "Hi, I'm waiting to receive my 21-day detox kit, and my question is about the hours I should be eating on days 3 to 7. I get up usually around 8 a.m., so my first shake will be at 9 a.m., lunch at 12:30, second shake at 4, dinner at 7:30. The problem is that 7:30 is too late for me to eat. Is it possible to modify these times so I'm not eating dinner at 7:30? Can I interchange the 4 p.m. shake with the 7:30 p.m. dinner? Please help before I get started in this program. I'm looking forward to feeling better. Thank you, Joyce." Joyce, always happy to help. Keep in mind, you wrote in on March 16th, and it's already towards the end of May. So I don't like people to have to wait for the questions that they need pertinent advice to for 12 weeks. On the Ask Cabral page, it does say it's going to take me about 12 weeks to get to your question just because of the queue. And it also says, though, please ask at cabralsupportgroup.com. Joyce and everybody else, you are always welcome to write into me. Most likely for the next 40 years, I'll be doing this show, right? So do feel free. Please write into me, and I want you to do that. But there's no way that I got to you in time, right? There's probably no way. Now, if you ask at cabralsupportgroup.com, our free private Facebook group, they would get back to you usually the same day, Monday through Friday. So I hope what they told you is all you have to do is tighten the times just a little bit, right? So if you wake up around 8, no problem. Yeah, you'll have your first shake around 8:45, 9 o'clock. 3 hours later, that'll be around noon. 3 hours later, around 3. 3 hours later at 6, right? So yes, we'll base it on your day. It's not a problem. We like an extra half hour between meals, but then that's basically 2 hours later, right? And so we don't want you to have to deal with that. So that is how you would be able to customize it just for you. Yeah, absolutely. Kelsey's up next. Hi, Dr. Brawl. Recently had some constipation with a very large stool. It ended up causing bleeding and is very painful to pass. I've tried upping fiber and it doesn't help. Any tips? Okay, yes. So typical tips are adding the alkalizing vitamin C upon waking, 1 scoop in warm water. And then it is the calming magnesium before bed. And then adding the advanced fiber support and or a teaspoon to a tablespoon of psyllium husk powder in your morning smoothie. Make sure you are drinking the smoothie in the morning. You want a lot of hydration. You want some fruit in your diet. You can add some of that psyllium or the advanced fiber support, and your alkalizing vitamin C basically is upon waking in warm water, and your calming magnesium is before bed. Again, not providing any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, or medical diagnosis. That's what we have people do in our practice, and it typically works fantastically well. So that's where I would start. Hopefully that is helpful. Jillian's up next. My question is regarding my almost 2.5, and sorry, just one thing I always have to say, and I know you've probably heard this a million times, just make sure you are drinking about half your body weight in ounces of water per day so that your stool is naturally a little bit softer and that you're not dehydrated where your body might be reabsorbing water from the colon, okay? And I've got podcasts on constipation too if you want to ask at cabralsupportgroup.com. Jillian says, my question is regarding my almost 2.5-year-old daughter. On and off since birth, she has slept with her mouth open. This has gotten worse to where she sleeps with it almost always open for about 6 months now. She snores, interrupts her sleep, and during the day seems to keep her mouth open while playing and running. Her voice is also a bit nasally. Despite this, she does not get sick often, but when she does, gets the cold. The extreme mucus seems to last a month or more. Her doctor recommends she take Zyrtec nightly to see if it's an allergy issue and also recommends us for a sleep study. The Zyrtec does seem to help with the night snoring and coughing. My question is, one, are the long-term effects of what are the long-term effects of taking Zyrtec regularly? And do you recommend removing tonsils, adenoids? What do you recommend for this? All right, so I've got lots of shows on tonsils and adenoids. I had mine removed, adenoids. I can't give you medical advice. I just want you to know that. My daughter's tonsils, especially my oldest daughter's tonsils, when she was about 5 years old, were massively swollen. She got an infection, cold. Again, I'm not giving medical advice. We worked on it naturally, but left with swollen tonsils. And if you go to StephenCabral.com/children-protocol, is it children or children's? I have to find that for you. StephenCabral.com/ I think it's children-protocol. Yeah, children protocol. That's what we do for my daughters. And I put the tonsil protocol in there and everything. Not medical advice, not recommending it. It's what I did, just sharing that with you. Okay, so you have to keep in mind, adenoids and tonsils are meant to be in your body. They're lymph nodes, right? And so, but again, I will let you make the best decision for your daughter because as her parent, that is your decision. Okay, Zyrtec. No, I don't recommend, for me, again, not giving you medical advice, not going against your doctor. Please look up for yourself the side effects of Zyrtec, side effects of taking Zyrtec regularly. It can start to push the nervous system to a greater degree. To me, it's always about, okay, if you need to use that for now, you're using it now, but let's look for the underlying root cause. If she has allergies, all right, is it a food sensitivity? Because that's most likely. Like a lot of kids, myself included, were sensitive to dairy. They were sensitive to gluten or are sensitive to gluten. They're sensitive to eggs. Like not all of them, but some. So you run, in an ideal world, you're running a food sensitivity test and the Candida metabolic and vitamins test. The Candida metabolic and vitamins test. And you're looking for gut issues as well. So please do check those out at stephencabral.com/labs. You can work with us. You can work with an integrative health practitioner at integrativehealthpractitioner.org. There might be someone local to you, or you can work with a naturopathic doctor. But get to the bottom of it. And then if you feel it's right as your child gets older, you can also, you can do things so to make sure they don't sleep on their back as well. So part of that is, a adjustment with the neck as well. And you may want to help them sleep more on their side. Little things that you can do is tape a little tennis ball or something like that to the back when they go to roll over. They feel that during the night and they roll back to their side. The same thing with adults. We do that too for snoring. So, but again, as you're looking for the underlying root cause, there's malt taping, there's a lot of things you can do, but first, before you malt tape, you want to actually get to the underlying root cause, right? So what we did was we helped shrink my daughter's tonsils first, made sure everything was good gut-wise, and then we did the malt taping, but she was older. I wouldn't do it at 2.5 years old. So hopefully that's helpful. Amy's up next. Amy says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. Thank you so much for all you do. My 15-year-old daughter was recently diagnosed with macular atrophy. The doctors are suggesting that it is genetic and there is nothing that can be done to improve her condition. Also, there is a possibility that her eyesight could continue to decline and she could go blind. I wanted to see what supplements you recommend that help with her eyesight. Thank you." Okay, so please don't let doctors put the nocebo effect into your head. Please don't let them do that. There is always an underlying root cause, even if there's a genetic component to it. So macular atrophy, macular degeneration, the degeneration of the macula in the eye, weakening the eyesight, and what we want to do is look for what in the body could there be that's causing inflammation, causing the macular atrophy. So the first and foremost, when I'm looking at 15-year-olds, I'm looking at a highly inflammatory diet. Of course, that's not going to cause it in most teenagers, right? Unless you're predisposed. But again, maybe predisposed. Okay. So then what are we looking at besides that? Might be looking at heavy metals. How do we know that she doesn't have higher levels of mercury or aluminum or some other heavy metal? Like we just don't know, right? So my recommendation is to I want to save you money, but at the same time, I want to make sure that you get the results and you can show this to your daughter. All right, so first and foremost, I'm running the inflammation test. Then I'm running the food sensitivity test. And I'm running the minerals and metals test and the Candida metabolic and vitamins test for gut issues. So at that point, you might as well run the big five, honestly, and get the hormone levels as well, because it's basically free. Because the big five is like $2,100, but it's almost like $1,000 off if you do them all together. So that's what I would do. If you can only run 2 labs and you want the least expensive, do the minerals and metals test, looking for metals, and run the inflammation test. Because, and again, I'm not prescribing anything, not making medical advice, recommendations, diagnosis, etc. I would want to know those. And those are the least expensive. And then I would be using the daily eye and vision support at stephencabral.com/shop. It's an amazing product. I use it myself, and my eyes are good. I don't need glasses. I don't need anything like that, but I'm staring at a computer and I'm doing things like that. It's a very powerful antioxidant. It's incredible. And then I would use the daily omega-3 support, the liquid or 2 soft gels. So 1 teaspoon a day or 2 soft gels a day, daily omega-3 support. That's also at stephencabral.com/shop. And if possible, use the whole daily foundational protocol, or at least the daily nutritional support, so that she's getting all the detox cofactors, the vitamin E, the vitamin C. You need all of those. It's not just about a one-off product. Daily Vision is amazing. Daily Omega-3 is amazing, but you really want that daily nutritional support or daily activated multivitamin. All right, Amy? Hopefully that's helpful. And then let's find out what those labs say. And run the labs before you start taking the nutritional supplements. And of course, we want a clean diet. I know, but you can find out all about that also inside of the Rain Barrel Effect, and maybe your daughter will read the Rain Barrel Effect. Alan is up. Our last question of the day. I have a problem that I constantly eat preventatively, so I never feel hungry because I'm afraid of painful hunger pains. As a child, there was little food at home and I received New York City public school free lunch, which has small portions or not edible, leaving me hungry. First, I would like the ability to eat only every 3 hours. And then second, do others have the issue? Alan, yeah, totally. I get it. I understand. And it is amazing how childhood trauma affects us well into adulthood. And that's the truth. So there's so many great books on this. There really are. I would love you to look into my interview with Dr. Nicole LaPera. You can find it at stephencabral.com/podcast. About 4 years ago, I used to do interviews once a week, and you can find that one there. She also has books published as well. She's great. There's also so many books on healing childhood trauma or healing the inner child. Please look up books on that. Whatever one speaks to you is often a great one to go to. I've got a bunch on my floor here that I'm going to be recommending to people as well. I've recommended many in the past as well, but just look at healing your inner child. So please do look at that. That is what you want to work on for sure. Like there is something there. There's no doubt about it. It's warranted. The nice thing is you already know what it was. And now if you work with a qualified therapist or you work these books, if you're not able to afford a therapist, this will be tremendously helpful. So there's also something called, please listen to my interview as well with Elliot Rowe. You'll learn about neurolinguistic programming combined with regressive hypnosis. That's a great one too. Yeah, so those are the places to start. You'll be able to overcome this. You really will, Alan. You really will. And so that's the place to start because the mind affects the body for sure. And the nervous system, right? That's what you're feeling, that worry. That, when you're hungry, it brings you back to childhood. I'm telling you, it'll work. It can work amazingly well for you. The NLP with the regressive hypnosis is unbelievable for if you know the specific instance. Okay, and then other people with these issues all the time. They just don't share it. That's the thing. They don't share it. I work with so many celebrities and influencers. Like people have no idea. And then people say, like, how come they're not on your website? Because I have strict confidentiality and I'm not a marketer. Like there's nothing wrong with telling the celebrities you work with. I shouldn't say that. I've talked about some celebrities before because they've come on the podcast or they've talked about certain things or they've given me a shout out on Instagram and I appreciate all that. So there is nothing wrong with saying the people that you work with, but it's just not my style. What I want to share with you is that many people from every walk of life deal with these childhood-based issues. And this is just unique to you, or it's not even unique. It's just this is with you, and there are many other people like that as well. So, Alan, there's no doubt, stick with this, and whether it takes you a couple months or a year or so to work through, you'll be able to work through it. No doubt in my mind. All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. I thank you. And like I said, would love to meet so many of you in person. Please do check out reimagininghealthevent.com. It's the very first time we're going to be able to get the community together. The podcast has been going on now for 7+ years. We have well over 60 million or so downloads. I've never been able to meet so many of you in person, and that is what I would love to do. So we're putting on the event, and it's going on this October. Check it out at reimagininghealthevent.com. Take care, everybody. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my health results accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stephencabral.com/courses.